And welcome back to What If Week. And this one comes to us, let me get the name right, Donteris Eccles? Or like Echo with an LS, Eccles? I want to say that's the name? Yeah, Donteris Eccles. Ironically, you actually asked if I'd give you a shout out for one of my next videos coming up. You were actually the next one on the list to get your What If, so congratulations. But this What If is, if I'm got my, here we go. What if future Trunks and Gohan had actually used the time chamber? Had actually trained in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. Now, if I remember correctly, and I might be not remembering this quite right, I do believe it was implied that the androids had destroyed or wrecked the Lookout, but I don't know if that was 100% confirmed. So let's assume there's a now I've actually heard this particular what if done before by someone else. I believe it was Moscow X who actually did it. And then I got tea here, so my voice doesn't give out. Mr. Meeseeks! So I'm going to be, because some of what he did made a little bit of sense to me in terms of how it went, how it played out. So I will be diving into that just a little bit, how he kind of figured it would go. So I'll have to believe we'll start this after Gohan loses his arm. I think that's where we're going to start this, and I think we're going to end it with Gohan being healed up, them recovering, and trying to figure out exactly what to do. So you'll probably have Trunks and Bulma and Gohan there talking things over. They're just wondering, it's like, we got to get stronger. It's like, if I were a Super Saiyan, I could help you. I know, but we don't have the time. You don't have the catalyst. It takes a spark. It takes fury, and we just don't have the time for that. The androids are wreaking havoc. And it's too bad the Lookout's destroyed. We could have been able to maybe get get Kami or Popo's help or something like that. Then the idea suddenly clicks into Gohan and said, the Lookout. I mean, did they actually destroy the Lookout, or is the time chamber still there? I remember Dad talking about it one time. So basically they decide once Gohan's healed up, which luckily I imagine with being a Saiyan and all that, it wouldn't be too long until he was properly healed up. So Gohan heals up, and they go and they make sure. Now the androids can't sense power levels, so they wouldn't be able to sense that they are off and trying to do that. So they make sure to avoid the androids, be sure, and get to the Lookout. When they get to the Lookout, they do find that it's trashed. There's craters everywhere. Most of the trees are uprooted and destroyed. We know Kami's gone because Piccolo was killed. But out of the wreckage comes, someone who you never thought you'd see, Mr. Popo. And Popo's there, and he's, despite the fact that Popo doesn't age, they can see in his face that despite the fact he hasn't aged, he's worn out. He's seen so much. He's seen the loss of Kami. He's seen the loss of the Lookout. However, he managed to hide. Actually, what he did likely was hide in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber while the androids were just having fun. And luckily, they didn't destroy the chamber or anything like that. So, I'm sorry. There we go. So they were able to, he was able to hide out and survive. And fortunately, he got a little stronger, but he's not a warrior per se. He's able to help train a bit, but like Goku and stuff, and he is powerful for Dragon Ball relevance. And hell, he can even block punches and keep up a little bit with Super Saiyan Trunks and Goten. So Mr. Popo ain't no joke. But ultimately, he's not a warrior to stop the androids. However, they see Mr. Popo. They're grateful to see Mr. Popo, and Popo is actually grateful to see them as well. It's like, oh dear, they're here. The androids here. And then he's like, oh, Gohan, Trunks, it's you. It's been so long. And then Popo kind of breaks down a little bit. They have a good little a reunion. That's the word I was looking for. How did they mess up reunion? And then, Gohan says, like, we have a plan, but we need to use the time chamber, Popo. As Popo's like, of course, come this way. I was hoping. And then he explains, like, I was hoping at some point someone would be able to come up here and use the time chamber for training. Finally, end the reign of those monsters. And then, they get to the time chamber. Then he gives the warnings, like, you must go in, you must be prepared. One day out here will be a year in there. Since neither of you have been able to have gone to the time chamber before, you'll be able to use it twice, 2 days, so 2 whole years. Now, with that said, no, Goku and Gohan, after their first time in the chamber, didn't go back in a second time. And I think there's a reason that Goku could still do it, because he died once. So he could theoretically go back in the chamber if he had to. I think that's there. But in this case, I do believe that Gohan and Trunks would use the chamber 2 times in a row. I think they want to use every advantage they can. Absolutely. Plus, the androids can't sense their energy. They don't know they're up there. So they feel that they have the time to do so. So they'll go in the first time. Now, the first time, that's when it's going to be like kind of how Goku and Gohan were their initial time. Gohan is the battle-hardened warrior who already knows how to go to Super Saiyan. Trunks needs to learn it, so they're going to be spending some time on that. And yeah, eventually Trunks will hit Super Saiyan. I think it will kind of be the way that Gohan hit Super Saiyan. That's what I would say. He fires a blast. He says, "Here's all your friends, they're gonna die. They're dead." And so Popo will be dead. You gotta let that happen. And basically Trunks snaps and goes Super Saiyan. Yeah! And then they spend the rest of their time, which they never actually specify how much time it took for Gohan to turn into a Super Saiyan. They never do specify that. If I had to imagine, it had to have been a couple months in there. It took Gohan to train and turn to Super Saiyan. So I'm gonna give a nice little 4-month buffer for Trunks to turn Super Saiyan. Now after that, we know Trunks, though being half Saiyan, does not have the same level of potential like say Gohan did. We know that's not the case. Just because if that were the case, that we wouldn't actually have that arc, because Trunks wouldn't have gone back into the future or past. He would have just wasted the androids. If he had the true potential that Gohan had, he would have just wasted the androids, because he would have gone Super Saiyan 2, all that. That's more than likely the case. Now, we do know he hit Super Saiyan 2 in Dragon Ball Super, but that's in his adult years, training, and all that. So I'm going to say that Trunks doesn't hit Super Saiyan 2 in that training, or like Gohan sees it in there. But Gohan, we know, did have the potential to become Super Saiyan 2. He was the first Super Saiyan 2. So during that process, we'll have. I don't think we'll see Gohan, at least in the first session. We won't see Gohan or Trunks hit Super Saiyan 2. What we will see is Gohan and Trunks, practicing with the Ascended Saiyan forms. And I think because Gohan's not Goku, he's not a natural fighter like Goku is. We're not going to see him. Get the perfected Super Saiyan form. How Goku figure. I do think in their first time in, he's going to be like, yeah, he's going to show off like the Ultra Saiyan form. But I think he will realize it's not going to be it's not worth the speed loss, despite the power he gets. Trunks, meanwhile, I think Trunks, you'd see him basically get just a solid grasp, a stronger Super Saiyan form, mind you, but a stronger grasp on it. I don't think you're going to see anything above the Ascended Saiyan that we get in Gohan and just a strong Super Saiyan form out of Trunks. Now, when they get out, Popo will notice how strong they are. Excuse me. He will give them. It will turn out. I would imagine Popo was able to hold on to some senzu beads. I think that's possible. It's like, so it's like here, take these. What? It's like senzu beads. I managed to save a couple before the androids came up. So ultimately, so they get some senzu beads. It's like, do you want to go back in? It's like, yeah, we need to go back in. We're not done training yet. And I imagine Gohan would want to do that because he knows he's already at Ascended Saiyan form. And Trunks already hit Super Saiyan. But if he's already at a form above Super Saiyan, he knows Trunks can do that too. So another year in the time chamber in this circumstance would actually be very beneficial to them. Because we know that Goku probably wouldn't have progressed very much going back a second time. Although I would argue there's an argument to be made. He might have been able to hit Super Saiyan 2 had he had another full year to train. Because we know he did it in the other world. But we don't know when he was able to achieve that in the other world. Uh, so it's a tough call, but we know that they can improve because we know there's stuff well beyond the Ascended Saiyan form, like the perfect Super Saiyan. So they go back, and again, this time having adjusted to their new powers a bit, and Gohan and Trunks definitely put more effort into the training. Well, not more effort, but they're going harsher into the training because they're training now to perfect these forms. And I think you would see, I think it would be Goku and Gohan all over again, where you get these perfected Super Saiyan forms. And power wise, where would they be? We know that first off, we know the androids in Trunks' timeline are weaker than the androids we get in the modern timeline because of changes to the canon. By the way, Trunks. Well, I'll save that for in a little bit. Um, um, so there's that. Gohan couldn't beat the androids on his own, but he. Excuse me. Ugh, 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. But anyway, he couldn't beat the androids on his own, but he could keep them at bay for a little while. But there was 2 of us. That was the problem. So theoretically, if we're labeling power levels where we put Gohan on the spectrum, like a good question would be: would the modern timeline Z Warriors, when they they train for the androids, be stronger than 17 and 18 in the Trunks timeline? That's a tough call. That's an interesting question. I don't know. That's because we know that Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo could take Android Jiro in 19. We know that. They could take them without too much effort. There was some definitely Goku was suffering from the heart virus, but even with the heart virus, he was at least able to go toe to toe with 19 and actually keep him on his toes for a while. If he hadn't messed up with the Kamehameha, he actually might have ended up beating 19 before the heart virus really started to take effect. Without the heart virus, I would argue Goku was probably stronger than 19. We know Vegeta ultimately beat 19, and we know Jiro could even be beaten by Piccolo. So it's tough. Do we think that Jiro and 19 are stronger than future timeline Android 17 and 18? I'm gonna go on the record and say I don't think they were stronger. I think 18 and 17 were probably still stronger, but they wasn't by a great margin because we know 17 and 18 in the modern day were much stronger than their canon counterparts and much stronger than both Jiro and 19. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. I'm going to say that no, if we were to scale them to I don't think the modern Z Warriors could take on 18 and 17 as easily as they took on Jiro and 20. But I think Jiro and 19. But I think they could manage. I think they can manage against those versions. So if you get basically Gohan and Trunks having trained in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber twice, getting perfected Super Saiyan forms, they wouldn't be Goku or Gohan Cell Games power level, but they'd probably be like Trunks and Vegeta Cell Arc power level, which at that point means they completely and utterly waste the androids. So you'd get them returning, looking for the androids. Remember, they can't sense their energy, so they actually have to listen for the androids to be wreaking havoc. On like radios and stuff like that. So they have to do that. And they finally get over there. They show up. Trunks also has aged. Remember, they're both now 2 years older. So you're actually now looking at a Trunks who's probably around the age of, give or take, of his future, of the version of him that goes to the past. And then they show up. And say, hey, Sparky, how you doing? Spiky hair, how you doing? Oh, it looks like you can turn the blonde on too. Great. And how you doing there? It's like one on? It's like one arm? Oh, I'm sorry. Was it Gohan or one arm? I can't remember. Maybe you should change your name. They're 17's just cracking one-liners, and they're basically just looking at each other like, okay, let's show off a little bit, and then just boom, power up. It's like, whoa, okay. It's like, if you've been working out because you are jacked, and basically what happens is they lay waste to the androids completely and utterly. It's basically what happens when Trunks showed back up in the future after training. He just ends them. Just done. Now, what do we do about... Now, first up, do they go back in the past? Well, no. No, they don't, because they defeated the androids. There's actually no point to going back to the past, because the reason they went back to the past initially is because they couldn't defeat the androids. So they figured they could change the timeline and stop the androids from existing. But that's not how the time travel works in the DB's universe. Multiverse theory is a bitch. But because they defeat androids, there's no point on doing that now. And then we do know Cell wakes up because Trunks goes back to his timeline and Cell's there. However, they're able to sense Cell, and even if they can't sense Cell or initially sense Cell, they do pick up on eventually, and it still goes about the same. Now they don't know about Cell, so Cell might take him by surprise, but they're more than strong enough to take on a first stage Cell. Absolutely, they are. So maybe Cell starts to drink one of them a little bit, but quickly they take care of that because it's 2-on-1 at that point, and they waste Cell. So more or less, what I think happens is they rebuild the Capsule Corp ship to go find New Namek and get the Dragon Ball. Or honestly, they try to contact King Kai. Which, think about it real quickly. In the Dragon Ball Z timeline where Trunks is, by the way, why don't the... I just realized that is one of the biggest plot holes I've ever thought of before in Dragon Ball Super. Bulma can make a spaceship. We've seen that. They didn't get Dende then. They still got New Namek. You think there'd be a way to find New Namek and get the Namekian Dragon Balls to bring the Z Fighters back? And they've all probably been training with King Kai, minus Vegeta, because Vegeta was a prick. At that point, Vegeta would not have been sent to King Kai. But Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, Piccolo, they all would have gone back to King Kai. So they would have probably been training for years at this point. So, yeah, they probably would through King Kai. I think between King Kai contacting them and or them finding a way to get in touch with King Kai. Maybe actually through Popo. Popo might be able to do that. We don't know the full range of Popo's capabilities in terms of that. And Bulma making time machine. They eventually do go to New Namek, or they even ask King Kai. Sorry, there's something on the TV that's distracting me. My bad. They find a way. Honestly, I think it's more about asking King Kai to help use the Dragon Balls to bring the Z Fighters back. So ultimately, Now, to be fair, first off, the Namekian year is shorter, and you can only bring one person back at a time. Now that being said, they have 3 wishes. They can bring now. Theoretically, they should be able to bring back everyone who. No, you can only bring one person back at a time. That's right. But that was with Lord Guru, who was weaker because he was an old Namekian. Oh God, I can't remember the new ones, but he's younger comparatively, and therefore is a bit more vibrant. I think they might be able to bring more than one person back. Let's, for the sake of say they can only bring one person back at a time still. But with 3 wishes, you can bring 2 people back and then use the last wish to wish them back. So that means you would get Chaozu, Gohan, Krillin. Basically, all the Z Fighters would come back. Hell, they could even bring back Vegeta. Unfortunately, Vegeta would still be as strong as he was when the androids killed him. Which would be very humorous for him to see after years of training in the other world with King Kai and all that stuff. Probably, Piccolo would probably say, "Yeah, teach me the Kaioken, come on." Maybe even training with Goku at that point for a while in the other world. So, yeah, and honestly, they can bring Goku back with. Wait, are the Namekian Dragon? Because I know the Earth Dragon Balls can't bring someone back who died of natural causes, which Goku died of a heart virus, which is a natural cause. But are the Namekian Dragon Balls capable of doing that? Let's say that they are. Just because I know they're stronger than the Earth Dragon Balls. And that does seem like a natural. Well, no, actually, I don't think they were. At least not under Guru's reign, because we know we know that King Kai had to make the argument that what if someone who died of grief? Oh no, wait, that's because Kami was wishing. Okay, sorry, that was the Earth Dragon Balls making that wish. A lot of convolutedness going on. But let's assume that through the couple years that takes place, all the Z fighters get brought back to life. Everyone gets brought back to life. Even Goku gets brought back to life. And they all show back up. It's like, guys, you guys did it. You did it, son. You brought us back. Yeah, it's like, so Dad, tell me. And it's like, so everyone, tell me, how much stronger did you guys get in the other worlds? Like, you want to find out? So they have a good old sparring match. I would imagine Krillin could easily go, well, not against their Super Saiyan forms, and even that many years of training, Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin could not go up against Trunks or Gohan. Vegeta, he just is like, you brought me back, Thomas! It's like, no! Now I'm getting bitched out by my son. I'm proud of him, though. But I hate him, but I'm proud. His Saiyan pride would be both, like, jealous of Trunks, but at the same time, like, I'm proud my son became a badass. And then, now, Piccolo having that many years, and I think he eventually even learning the Kaioken, yeah, I think Piccolo could definitely be a match. I think Piccolo could actually beat Trunks in a fight. Gohan, I think, would be the stronger of the two, and he would definitely be a challenge. So I don't think, but Piccolo would be more than proud to go on. Then Gohan and Goku would have their little sparring match. And let's be clear, Goku's probably spent more than enough time in the other world. He's got Super Saiyan 3 at this point. Let's not mince words. He's got Super Saiyan 3 at this point. They never do say the actual, I don't think they say the actual time frame of it, but I believe Trunks was still, I remember, Trunks was still a baby when Goku died. He was still a baby. And Trunks is like 14 when him and Gohan are like duking it out or fighting the androids. He's in his teens at that point. And then a few years later, he's like 17 or something like that. So, yeah, that's over a decade worth of time to train, which Goku had 7 years to train. Granted, he already had perfected Super Saiyan at that point, but still, you know what? Yeah, screw it. Give him Super Saiyan 3. I think that is totally fair. Which then Goku shows off Super Saiyan 2, which like Gohan's like, whoa, what the? It's like, yeah, don't worry, son. You'll get there one day. And then he beats Gohan. It's like, I miss you, Dad. It's like, I miss you too. We're going to do something about that arm, though. Oh, you think, Bulma, you think you can work something out? Yeah, we were busy with the androids, but hell. Hey, why don't we just, wait, Piccolo, you're back too. Why don't we just wish you an arm or something like that? Why don't we just, one of the wishes we do for an arm or something like that? So, yes, all the Z fighters are back. Now with the Goku Black arc, which I think I can actually wrap this all up in one video. Imagine that. It might be a little bit longer than I intended, but I think I can wrap it up in one video. With the Goku Black arc, it does change some things. Now, there's no Beerus in this case. In fact, I don't think there would be a Beerus in this case because, well, no, actually, if I'm thinking about this right, Beerus should have woken up, shouldn't he? I'm trying to think how much time passed. There's 7 in the Boo arc. There's about 3 between the Android arc. So that's 11. And then there's about 14 years. And we know that Trunks said that the Supreme Kai died fighting Deborah and Bobby when they came to Earth. I know that. I believe he said that. Yeah, that was an incident that happened. But that's 14 years. And we know that I think Dragon Ball Super takes place about a year after. Am I getting that right? I might be off. So that's relatively speaking 12 years. And there's no way that Trunks is 12 years old, unless I'm mistaken about something. Even if we do go about the 12-year marker, Beerus should be awake at that point. Now, granted, he wouldn't be caring about things. But, yeah, so Beerus is around. The Deborah and Bobby come around to try to take over, resurrect Boo, but they fail. They would fail miserably because it's not just Trunks, it's everyone there now. So they'd fail spectacularly. I do think that Kami gets resurrected, but they bring Dende in to be the new Guardian. I think that whole debacle, that whole shenanigans happens. Beerus shows. I think Beerus will actually show up for the Super Saiyan God. I think he would show up. We're hearing from Shin that he fought against with some Saiyans. Like a Super Saiyan God Whis shows up there. That actually happens. Now we don't know the actual time frame of what happened when Black showed up. That's the thing. Because of the time shenanigans with the whole Trunks stuff, we don't know the actual time frame of when he showed up. Let's assume it is excuse me, let's assume it is a little later. Goku maybe even has Super Saiyan, but let's assume that it's when Goku has Super Saiyan Blue at this point. However, we know that, you see, and now we get into the real convoluted stuff. We know he swapped bodies with a Goku, but it's not necessarily this Goku, because he saw the Goku from our universe fighting in the Universe 6 tournament. So that's the Goku we swapped bodies with, but in a different timeline, which isn't even the same timeline as Trunks. So you'd have Goku Black show up. I think he would take out Shin, unfortunately. That he aimed for all the gods of destruction. I remember that. And they don't, which, that is a dumb system, by the way. I get they're supposed to be connected, but your god of destruction is connected to your Supreme Kai, who your Supreme Kai is a weak chump. So, in all the universes, Supreme Kais are not very strong, comparatively. They're actually pretty, when you actually compare them to like some of the other Z fighters, like, or Dragon Ball Z characters throughout the history, they are powerful. They, like, believe Shin could take on Frieza with no problem back in the Namek Saga. He could probably even take on the androids without too much difficulty. Not certain how strong he is compared to a Perfect Cell. I don't know about that, because there's no official power level stated. I digress, though. So, really, you'd have Black versus the Z Fighters. Now, at this point in time, and I don't even think Gohan would even have, like, Super Saiyan God and stuff like that. He'd also have Super Saiyan 2. I think even Super Saiyan 2's all around. You get a Super Saiyan 2. You get a Super Saiyan 2. Vegeta and Goku both have trained. They got Super Saiyan Blue. So when Black shows up in this timeline, thinking that it's still post-apocalyptic where there's no Z Warriors, because that's what he was told ultimately by someone. He borrowed by Zamasu, because I don't think Zamasu has been paying much attention. So they go to that timeline. That was one of the timelines he tried to wreck. So when he shows up there, Goku and Vegeta are there, and they immediately take out Black, who at that point, as far as we know, did not have Super Saiyan Rose. So Black actually ends up getting wasted, which really puts a damper on the Zero Mortals plan. And then through shenanigans, I think they are able to take out Zamasu through actually using the Mafuba, because Beerus is gone. And their timeline is ultimately saved overall. So, but what happens in the end game of it? What happens ultimately? They're not going to be part of the Tournament of Power. We already have our other timeline in Tournament of Power. So it does end. All's well that ends well for the Z Fighters in this case, just due to the fact that they should be able to manage against the other threats that would have cost them. But it would be rough going. But again, you still have to raise the plot holes of why did they never go to why King Kai could have told them where New Namek is. I'm sure they could have found some way to get in touch with someone on some plane of existence that could have given them the coordinates to New Namek, which they could have used the Namekian Dragon Balls. I'm sure they could have figured that out. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. So as you want to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I just wrote Win, Star Wars, Superior Magic, what if, anything I do on the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do it at some point. There will be more what ifs, obviously, throughout the week. I actually got to pre-record my what if and who would win in just a second. So you'll see me not move an inch from the spot. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.